Humans! What is everything? I genuinely ask, because we birds hang back and up and watch and keep generally chill because we're delicious and y'all get the grilling eyes once it gets above 60 degrees out. But like in the general scheme of all the stuff that is and will be everything, we kind of don't really know the whole thing. Like, what's up with consciousness and why did you get all summoned like not everyone else? Like, did you get to the front of the line? Do you know the door guy? Did you slip someone a metaphysical Benjamin and get in the VIP room of awareness and reason? Because, like, hook a squirrel up with that shit. They're fucking desperate for meeting. Look at them. They're hitting up trees with this parkourian urgency. But why? To where? To what end, squirrel? Why are you running? I've seen where you're going. There's nothing there. Nothing's on sale. There's no IMAX movie about to start. No real reason for the imperativeness other than avoiding getting snacked on by bigger things, and that's no way to spend a Saturday. There's a whole new Star Wars show coming, and it looks like it's gonna fucking smoke, but we're not gonna talk about Star Wars. We have other things to discuss. Squirrels should be given the holy all-access pass to acumen so they too can enjoy the latest Star Warsian drama. This one's from Leslie Headland, and she co-produced Russian Doll. It's called The Acolyte, and it takes place in the days of the High Republic, which starts 500 years before the Skywalker saga, which is great, because we'll get to see Jedis doing Jedi jams, not have to worry about cameos and fan service, just trippy space wizard shit, which is Star Wars the way I like it, and I assume also the squirrels will too, even though we're not gonna talk about it. But what is Star Wars and why is it everything? Thankfully, I don't have to think about this shit because you humans have been questioning existence for a long-ass time. And to quote the great philosopher Freedom Williams, I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut in your world, same as the squirrels. So, human philosophy on its own is a whole other fucking podcast. But one of the greats, the GOATs, the MVPs of playing b-ball with your brain is Aristocles. And yeah, that totally sounds like a character from that thing we're not going to talk about because we're busy right now, but he's actually someone you humans know very well on the streets as Plato. Now, Plato was around a long time ago, I'm not going to finish that, right here on this earth. Born in Athens, or maybe Aegina, which is one of the Saronic Islands, I don't really know for sure, because he was born between 428 and 423 BC, which is about 2,451 years ago around the Peloponnesian Wars, which is sort of when the old Republic was around and the Jedi was being relocated back to Tython to commune with the Force for guidance after being blamed for the Sith victory during the Great Galactic War. But we're not gonna talk about that. You humans do know, however, that Aristocles traveled a bunch because he was the son of a wealthy aristocratic family, which kind of meant a family of the best citizens rather than a nobility by birth. In fact, Aristotle and Plato were the first to really talk about the concept of aristocracy in opposition to oligarchy, which is kind of like if you were just born a Skywalker, and you have the Force, you don't have to work that hard to use it. You just fucking believe in yourself, Ted Lasso-ly, and you can take out the Empire, and everyone will assume that your story is a hero's journey, when really Luke didn't do shit except completely blow off his masters, almost get all of his friends killed. Like, I'm just saying, if 2 Jedi masters tell you not to go to Cloud City, you might want to fucking listen. Oh shit, you might have both hands. But whatever, we're not gonna talk about it. Aristocles was known for being a big old burly man with a broad chest and shoulders like the Alan Richson of Greeks, which may be possibly not entirely sure, but best guess is Diogenes Laertes wrote down that his wrestling coach, Ariston of Argos, nicknamed him Platon, which means broad, and the name stuck, and now you know him as Plato. But that's not 100%, because like I was saying, this was a fuck ton of years ago, before the reign of Palpatine, and I'm not counting his return, which, I mean, I get it, it's canon, but fuck you. We had the Timothy Zahn books all the way back from the 90s, right there in front of you, and they were fucking dope as shit. They literally gave you Admiral Thrawn, which is one of the greatest characters since Yoda, but you had to biff it because money, I guess, but we're not gonna talk about it. So, Plato studies under Socrates. You know him as Socrates, be excellent to each other and party on dudes. And eventually, in his 40s, he founded the Academy, aka Plato's Academy, aka the Platonic Academy in Athens, on a plot of land in the grove of Hecademus, where he taught all of the hits of foundational Western philosophy: allegory of the cave, the forms, the cardinal virtues, the theories, influenced by Pythagoras of the theorem, Heraclitus, and Parmenides. In fact, most of what you all know about these cats comes from Plato, because that's how he rolls. Famous mathematician Alfred North Whitehead said, quote, "The safest general characterization of the European philosophical tradition is that it consists of a series of footnotes to Plato." So yeah, not just a big deal, but the deal. That's Plato. When it comes to your mind, the virtue of history, the theories that make up what you humans think of as everything. Plato taught Aristotle everything Aristotle knew at the Academy. It was a famous place, a legendary home to commune with all that was knowledge. But it was eventually destroyed in 84 BC by the Roman general Lucius Cornelius Sulla Felix. Kind of like the Great Jedi Purge of 19 BBY after the execution of Order 66. But what wasn't fucked with by the Romans? Anyway, Plato lived into his 80s, which seems like a hell of a thing to do in a time before Gatorade vacations and Peloton memberships. But actually, new studies are finding that the Greeks kind of rocked for a lot longer than you humans initially thought. Not saying it's because they were one with the Force and the Force was one with them, because we're not talking about Star Wars, but just saying maybe take a minute to feel the Force flow through you every now and then, because it surrounds us and guides us. The prevailing thought was that Plato died from an illness. In his final moments, in his fever, listening to, quote, sweet music performed on a flute by, quote, a Thracian slave girl, which, yeah, sounds like a species that looks like Hera Syndulla dancing in Jabba's palace in ROTJ, but that is a Twi'lek, and we're not gonna talk about it. And he was buried somewhere on the grounds of the Academy, even though none of you humans really know where, until now. Researchers this last week, in this time period, right here and now in the present age, using AI and a variety of sweet fancy lasers, have figured out what happened during Plato's final days. So, the Epicurean philosopher Philodemus had this account of the history of the Academy, which is kind of where most modern researchers and archaeologists are getting their info. Piecing together the history of Plato et al., because they didn't have Google Drive back a couple, 3,000 years ago. They had papyrus scrolls. Papyrus is a paper made from the pith of the papyrus plant, rolled out and into scrolls, and onto those, the general history of Plato and the writings of the history of the Academy were written and stored in the library of Herculaneum Villa, 12 miles from Pompeii, probably belonging to Julius Caesar's father-in-law, at the foot of Mount Vesuvius, which kind of had a midlife crisis in AD 79 and buried the entire town of Pompeii along with everything else around it, including the people in the history. Kind of like how the sacred Jedi texts were made from paper from the Uniti plant, bound in red clay that Luke hid in an Uniti tree until he had a fucking late life crisis and burned that shit to the ground because his mind was never on what he was doing. I'm just saying, Luke is not a hero, and I will take that to the mat when we get into it. Anyway. Those scrolls were unearthed in the 18th century, but were kind of hard to study because even opening them could destroy them. So researchers kind of had to sort of x-ray and pray, piecing the stories together as best they could, until the Italian researchers figured out how to virtually unwrap CT scans of the scrolls, and using your best bud and the actual Force in your digital world, humans, algorithms, to detect links in the warped pages by spotting subtle changes in the papyrus itself. In a presentation at the research findings at the National Library of Naples, Professor Grisanio Ranocchia of the University of Pisa described the discovery as, quote, an extraordinary outcome that enriches our understanding of ancient history. And what was that discovery? I am so glad you asked, because that is what we are talking about. Basically, they found, using lasers and tech, to decode some unreadable shit from a few thousand years ago, that Plato was buried in a secret garden near a sacred shrine to the Muses inside his Platonic Academy of Athens in a spot that was reserved for him. And it turns out he did die running a high fever listening to music being played by a woman at his deathbed. But according to the newly deciphered text, he fucking hated it. In fact, he said that the performer had, quote, a scant sense of rhythm to a guest from Mesopotamia. That is how specific the details that were uncovered thanks to the latest tech at reconstructing ancient scrolls in your world, bringing you ever closer to understanding how things got to now, reaching out and listening to the ancient Jedis of your past, literally telling you how they thought about the everything that you think about today. Antique critiques on existence from the minds of the past made clear today, thanks to the minds of the future, something any squirrel would be envious of. Maybe there is truth in there that you have not remembered in all of your years of consciousness. Maybe there's answers to questions you forgot to ask. In a time where the technology and mysticism of your time exist hand in hand, much like in the mystical high fantasy sci-fi hybrid that George Lucas brought to us in 1977, maybe the reason Star Wars is so appealing is because here and now, distanced for thousands of years from your past humans, you can chart an ancient story as it's happening, because you're creating it as it goes, somehow touching the past that you can't quite see by creating a mythos in real time. But we're not gonna talk about Star Wars. This is your time. This is your galaxy. This is your consciousness, and it is here and it is now. May the Force be with you.
Nailed it.